Yo, let's just set it off, man. This is episode of Buck 57 of the Carrying the Culture show. It's your boy Tamal, like Jamal, but with a T. Super excited about this one. And so, yo, this brother holds it down. DJ, B-boy, is dope at both. A fixture here on the local Pittsburgh scene. And one of the first people that I actually met when I moved here and just held me down. Get Down Gang, holding it down. A man DJ Stealth One, B-Boy Stealth One, Get Down Gang in the building. What up, what up, what up?
What's happening, man? What's going on?
Chilling, man. So we got lots to cover. And here's the thing. This is why this is going to be a dope thing for me, man, because I really don't know shit about you.
Yeah, we've talked, but it's been about abstract things.
Yeah, like...
Yeah, so you know that I know those things.
Right. And sometimes it's really loud, or sometimes it's like, you know, we dive into the music or just some weird religious topic or whatever.
That's what I'm saying.
It's been wild, right? So, like, I don't know a lot, but so that's why it's going to be fun for me. I'm genuinely excited to get to know more. So, and it's funny, man, they always say, like, they call you Stealth for a reason. I couldn't find no pictures, nothing. My man, what a flip phone. My man got a flip phone. So, like.
Okay. Funny story about that, though. It didn't start out that way. The reason how I got that name.
How?
I got that name because we were about to go out in Columbus. There's plenty of places to go. You know what I mean? Not like here where we are today.
Right.
So we were about to go out to a spot, but we were at the hangout. That'd be the headquarters of us then.
Right.
And so I was working on my mills before we left out. And I was doing fast. My homeboy right before he left, he said, "Man, dude, can't even see you. It's like stealthy."
And that was it. Did you have a name before that?
Yeah.
Well, what? Tell me. You gotta tell me.
It was Cairo, K-I-R-O.
Oh, dang. I mean, it sounds like I've heard that name before, though. Like
no, it's pretty.
But yeah, that ain't bad. I thought it was going to say something crazy. So I like to get into the history, man. Like, so you're originally from Columbus, right, Ohio?
Yeah.
So, like, what was it like? I don't know that scene like that, or not even the scene, but I know Cleveland very well. But like, what was Little Stealth like running around in Columbus? Like, what was that experience? What's it like growing up there?
There was a scene before I got in, obviously, but I actually think when I was in, and not just because of me, but other people who got into it, that scene actually became part of the main scene. So there's a lot of scenes around. It's just like how Pittsburgh was for the longest. So little pond thinks that it's in the huge ocean and has no idea that it's not even in the picture.
Right.
I mean. And so you could still be doing stuff and still doing your local shows and your local breaker, but you're not in the scene. I realized when I was coming up that we were in the scene, and you watch the videos, the VHSs and whatnot, and we weren't. We were watching them. You know what I'm saying? Like, why? Where are they? You know what I mean?
Right.
So I ended up trying to figure out how we get into it, and then got into that by getting together this crew. I got two of my guys together. I got Illip, my roommate Phil, and B-Boy Dedicate, who was a Zulu, who ended up being a Zulu king, and then who ends up hating Zulus. Yeah. So, but I got them together and said, "Yo, we need to get a squad together that can actually compete, because that's what's happening." You know what I mean? And so Street Symphony was born.
When was this roughly, like year-wise?
98?
Okay.
Yeah. Well, 99 maybe? Yeah. And, it was also for the sole purpose of figuring out how we do it, what looked like the right way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so from there, though, there were a lot of people dancing. And it seemed like even though it may not be doing the right thing, there were a lot of people dancing sort of like there was here. But we were all integrated a lot more than we were here. So there were a lot of places you could go, but maybe not everybody was doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But there was also more of a music culture. So the underground culture was there. That's where Bernie's was, which had the Phono Sluts, that's where RJD2 was. That's where SA Smash was. That's where Camus was. You know what I'm saying? That's where Copyright always was. So I would always watch them spit. That was like the thing to do after all the shit before we would have our music, and then they would spit and they would put on the booty drum. So there were gyms like that all over, and so you could just go to a spot and get the realness. Rock, it was so much better.
Yeah, as I'm hearing you, I'm like, ah.
Yeah.
So like, what was even before that? What was the aha moment? I guess that got you where you're like, this hip hop shit is dope. Like when like, I mean, for me, I can say I heard Planet Rock and I heard Party People and I saw people popping and shit. I was like, I gotta fucking do this.
Yeah.
Like, what was it like? Or was there some like, how'd you get into this rather? You know what I mean?
Well, there are two ways. I guess the one that solidified hip hop as being my thing. Cause I think I was pretty much what most kids were. It was like the Rock and Robbins, just the jingles, you know what I'm saying? But then hip hop came and I started to follow the Curtis Blows and up. But what really hit me when I thought, it was a thing that you did. Everybody listened to the music. So it wasn't anything real to me until I heard Cypress Hill's How I Can Just Kill a Man. I don't know what it was about it. It might have been the bass line, the groove or whatever. Something about that song to me said, this is the genre that's me, because something about the song really me. Wasn't gangster at all. You know what I mean?
Right.
I went to school with him. Was cool with him, but it wasn't gangster at all. But I loved the metaphor. I loved the grit. I loved the feel. And it was the groove still there. Yeah, I don't know what it was, but that's the song that got me like, hip hop. That's me.
So were you dancing before that or no?
No, but yes, dancing with every little brown kid did.
Right.
Kind of like we were, thought we were doing the worm, it was a centipede. You know what I mean? We thought we were breaking when we were waiting. That kind of shit.
Yeah.
And I did do that. But now I realize, most people now are counting it. And because I've been doing it for real for so long, I'm going, yeah, I wouldn't count that.
Right.
Because that was just us mimicking people, which is how you do it, but, like serious. But yeah, so hip hop was, the Cypress Hill joint. What got me into dancing was Gangstar, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah. And the reason why is because I don't know what it is about Premier and Guru, what they built, but it was my lifeblood. You know what I mean? That boom bap feel got me bobbing so much that at one point I went, man, if I bob too much, I'm dancing on it.
Right.
Literally, that's why I started dancing. I literally started going, if I just step to the right and step to the left with what I'm doing, I'm dancing.
Was it a particular joint?
That I don't remember, but it might have been, Above the Clouds.
Wow.
Yeah. Dude, just the, come on, man.
So that got you moving your legs, moving your body, and
moving my pelvis so much. You know what I mean? That I'm literally going, this isn't enough.
Right.
I had that thought. I said, this isn't enough movement. I want to I want to move more because this is hot. So I had to make it a physical high. It just wasn't enough.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's dope. I mean, I never would have. That's why I'm glad we're having this conversation, because I never would have.
I remember those moments. That's what's crazy. That's why it's just clear to me.
Yeah. No, and usually it is, man. I mean, like for me, again, like I said, it was Planet Rock.
Yeah.
And I heard that. And then when 84 rolled around, it was like, I saw break-in and stuff. And I was like, I have to learn how to do this. This broom shit, I got to do that.
I did that at first, but it wasn't serious.
Right.
But then it wasn't until the Gangstar era that I went back to breaking one. And then saw some of the moves. Wasn't even Turbo or Ozone. It was some of the other cats.
Some of the other cats. Right.
Yeah. And I'm like, that go to flip down to the back joint. I've worked on that for hours. Yeah.
Yo, what up, y'all? If you got questions for Stealth One, let us know. Please use the questions feature. We're just chopping it up, man. DJ B-Boy from Columbus, Ohio, now here in Pittsburgh, holding it down. So we're going to get into it, man. Like I said, I told y'all, he's a bigger critic than me. Everyone thinks I'm, hard on this shit. He makes me seem easy. All right. So let's go back to Columbus. So like, were you still in Columbus at this time, right?
Yeah.
All right. So now it's getting serious, right? Like it's getting serious, and like, I mean, there's local crews and stuff, or like, was it?
There were some local crews.
Or were you traveling?
But it was traveling more, you know what I mean? So that was you realize that was the whole point, was to put together yourself a team and then go say what up to people in their neighborhood, you know what I mean? And so that's what the whole point was, to get together a crew that you can call on and say, yo, Chicago's having a jam. Who can go? And that was big. That's really jump started a lot, because we ended up going far, you know what I mean? And then farther than I traveled before on my own, that took me places, just like everybody says. But you slept on someone's couch, but you went. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. No, it was the best time of our lives.
It didn't matter. That's
best time of our lives.
that's
You wake up and you roll around. Woke up in Canada to a camera in my face. So busy in the apartment. We were sleeping on one of these little nooks, and he was show came to talk about it the next day. So we woke up to this camera crew, and I'm just going, yeah, okay, that's just what it is, man.
yeah,
This is great.
Yeah, that's dope. So, as far as like getting to Pittsburgh, when and how did that happen?
Well, that's easy. I followed a woman here. I was me and Street Symphony were actually coming to battle. It wasn't Caution Crew. I can't remember the crew that was here at the time.
In Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And what's funny is Warren. Yeah. He was part of the other crew. Chose was Extravagant was part of the other crew. Cuba was part of the other crew.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so some of all the footage that I have were actually coming and battling them. They were in Mo was throwing jams, so we were coming to that. So I actually kept coming back and forth to Pittsburgh and didn't really, you come to a neighborhood and you have no idea where you actually are.
Right.
So still to this day, I used to come to go to this shop on the south side and did not know what the south side was. I just went to the shop and then I went. But that was coming back and forth to battle. We go to the jam and then we leave. But her and I meet at Ohio State, on Ohio State's campus in 2000. Oh man, what year is it right now?
25.
So for 2003? Yeah. 2003. No, we met in maybe 2001.
Okay.
Sorry, but we got together in 20.
All right.
It might have even been 2002. But once we got together and we moved around Ohio, because I was working at universities or whatnot, she ended up getting a job back at her alma mater, Slippery Rock. So she moved here, and I was going back and forth on the weekend. I would go from where I was working at the university to see my son, to then go from her out here, to then go back up and be like University of Toledo for a couple of years. You know what I mean? I was doing that every weekend.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then, so I ended up leaving Toledo 2010, December 31st, whatever. And that's when, not 2010, 2009. Moved here January 1st, 2010.
Really?
And she was here already with her job.
That's at Slippery Rock. All right. Yeah, it's a lady that does it a lot of times. But no, it's good shit. So, Get Down Gang.
Yeah.
I mean,
same year. How about that?
Just started that shit.
2010. It was we were coming back and forth before that. So I was coming back and forth before I even team. But then once we were together, we were coming back and forth because she was already here. So we were already meeting up with a few people, and CMU was kind of the hub. It was the spot for practice. It was hot. It was a good spot. And so a lot of us met there. And in 2010, we sort of had the same ideas I had with String Symphony before. I'm not taking credit for having that idea, but it was there. And it was in the room of saying, look, we're always something. Let's just make it something so we can rep that something. Sort of same idea.
Right. Just make it official.
Yeah, make it official. And so when we can actually go on the road and be something. And all the people in the room that were either knew each other and were good enough that day were put down.
So was Tina dancing? Was your wife dancing at the time?
Oh yeah, she was at school.
Right. Yeah. I mean, before, yeah, all that. Yeah.
Oh, but hip hop wise, I mean, she was doing a lot of what we would call like 90s hip hop.
Right.
But breaking was when she started rocking with us. So I was breaking maybe 3 years before we met. And then when we got together, she was coming to our practices. And then we started going to Bernie's in the same spot, and Bernie's became that spot where we're saying we're Phone of Sluts were in the copyright. Yeah, that was the thing.
So I was just tearing it up around the Midwest.
The Midwest is our people. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. So then Get Down Gang, who was like the original crew?
It was myself, Tina, Smiles, Extravagant, BDC. I'm missing some folks. Prabhu. born. Probably missing person team.
Okay. Yo. So yo, and that formed in. So when that, and I'm assuming back because you guys always tell me like glory days stories. I mean, I'm assuming back when that popped off, like you guys were doing the same thing, traveling around and stuff, or was it what was going on? What was going on in Pittsburgh when? Because you guys tell me like, yo, Pittsburgh was live for a minute, and I believe it. But like, what was going on, like peak during that time?
Well, so for a hot second, the whole question about whether, what was the Columbus scene like and how many places could you go? Pittsburgh had that for a second, at least for a second while I was here. So people talk to me about another heyday when I wasn't here. You know what I'm saying? But this time it was Shadow Lounge and Alo Lounge. Did you get this experience either? Okay.
I've heard like,
okay.
That's all I hear about is Shadow Lounge.
When people talk about their shadow, I'd say that's my Burns. And if I can compare those two, because I've been to both, they're both very comparable to being as free as you possibly can in hip hop culture. You know what I mean? And so it's like if it's an underground cut, it's play. If it's an underground cut with a booty cut, it's play. You know what I mean? It's literally, there are no rules because that's what it was supposed to be. So it's not a club, it's a place.
Right.
It's a spot. So that was from 2010 to 2013. During that time was one of the best times to flourish as any kind of hip hop group, because that was a good place to really get you, I don't know, like really the hub for y'all to always be. There were shows there, everything. There was also a lot of spots in other parts that aren't really good places to go now, like New Amsterdam was really dope. Really. So we would go there. Classic Material used to be there. Belvedere's was actually much better. That was a spot. We had a couple other spots in Lawrenceville. There were so many places to go and actually dance. Freely dance. You know what I mean? And freely dance. And we had people that would dance with us. The Jaquayas, you know what I mean? Like, the Danielles, they would dance with us. So it didn't feel like we were isolating people. You know what I'm saying? Right. We actually had people that couldn't wait for us to start.
Right.
Yeah, that went on 2010 to 2013, Shadow closed. And then about 2 years after, there were a bunch of pop-ups of spots that I was very much a part of, like Gus's and something like that, where they were hot for a second because we tried to continue that whole feeling. And we realized once Shadow closed, so much of the generation that was older at Shadow decided, yeah, that's it for me. So we lost a lot of patrons.
Yeah.
And so night would be hot, but it'd be like 15 people. And we knew it wasn't going to sustain.
Yeah. It's and then I came up about a couple years after, and I'm hearing about Shadow Lounge and shit.
So just imagine if we had all those places to go rock. Like Gus's, we would go do footwork, and they loved us. We would bring us water. You know what I mean? It was footwork. You go in there and do footwork, and people want you to be there.
Yeah, things done changed. Damn. Oh my God. Salute to everybody in the chat. What up? We got B-Boy DJ Stealth one in the building. Yo, so talk about the DJ, man. I mean, like, when and how did that come into play? Because you pulled double duty.
Yeah. Well, that speaking of which, that is same scenario. So back at Bernie's, the phono sluts were the DJs. And there would be three dudes. It was Pos 2, Low Zone, and then Prism, DJ Prism. Prism is now passed. During the time that he was DJing, he had a medical condition that had he had a hole in his heart. And so he kept having to go see certain cardiologists, and it ended up being that he just went out to the West Coast and waited to die. You know what I mean? It was one of those things. But those three dudes changed my life. And why is that? Because they were the first people who I saw in person cutting into tracks cleanly, and it was hip hop cuts, and they were underground joints. So it wasn't even popping shit. You know what I'm saying? They were cutting up company flow for the next track, and I'm in heaven.
Right.
And so from there, that's actually how I started DJing. I was an underground hip hop DJ, and I still would love to be if I had the audience.
Just started in Columbus.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I would play. That's what I first collected. I didn't play anything else.
Yeah, you said if you had the audience, yeah,
Yeah,
it's not here.
yeah,
But
yeah. It's tough.
so like, did you? I mean, how'd you learn? Did you learn? I mean, you were learning under them, or did you just figure it out on your own, or like?
I had a few. That's the other thing too. I had a few DJ pals. You know what I mean? And we were sort of figuring it out together. But at the same time, we had this group of b-boys and wannabe DJs and people that we had some graph writers with us. So we actually had a nice little clique going. So anytime we would have a practice outside or whatnot, me and my dude would DJ. And I would go down and rock while he's DJing, and I'd come up and throw my records on, and then we get a spot. We were at Red, White, and Blue on High Street, and I'm sorry, Scarlet and Gray on High Street, not Red, White, and Blue. And we both got that spot, and it was basically another practice spot, just like we always do. You know what I'm saying? So we were playing the jams because that's what we wanted to play. So we playing Cannibal Ox shit, and B-boys were dancing to Cannibal Ox shit because that's how we were doing it at Vermes. That's what we were playing at these spots. And we were just practicing at the same time. You know what I mean? So then sometimes we would have sessions at our house where I had dudes and producers come over. And it was great, man. I still don't think I got the essential that what I needed because I didn't really work with people. And I had some of the best DJs there, like DJ Manuel and Bombay were there, and they're some of the illest. And I learned what I wanted to be from them, but I didn't really take much from them, you know what I'm saying? So it took me a long time because I was just kind of mimicking for a while.
Right.
So I could do some ill shit, but it wasn't because I knew what I was doing.
So over the years, I mean, like it's just been more you practicing like on your own, or like?
Yeah, you know, I tried to have a group here. I tried to have Scratch Tuesdays, and it kind of fizzled out. And it's hard because right now I'm playing so much, and I'm getting so much new music coming in. I'm not even have time to listen to the music, let alone trying to practice my juggling versus trying to. So, you know, I almost went back to the basics when it came to scratching so I could try it in a style where I think it actually works as opposed to how I learned it. So I could sound really nice the way I had it, but there were limitations to that. I needed to really get my hands right. And in order to do that, I kind of went back to the basics. So I'm actually cutting less and less in my sets because I'm a little afraid of my cuts. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, I need to practice it. And so right now, anytime I go do a DJ set, it's it feels like a lot of work because I'm too afraid to have fun with it. You know what I mean? And, it's because I'm working on the technique of it when I get a chance, but I'm not getting enough
chances to really practice.
Yeah.
Yo, gun to your head, and you can only DJ or b-boy or beat rock. What would you do?
I'd break for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Not even. Yeah.
For what reason? Just.
The feeling. The whole reason why I DJ is because I break, and the whole reason why I still DJ is because I can still move while I'm playing. If it was like a sitting doing this, I would have gave it up a long time ago. I could stand up and really rock my shit.
Right.
So yeah, dance is just 75%.
What's the most important aspect of DJing to you?
I think sounding like you have some kind of semblance of a plan, or just sound like you played with your equipment for a while. You know what I mean? I can't put a blanket statement on how you should sound because each scenario is different. You know what I'm saying? Like, and some of them require a string of songs that you can't tell the difference. Some of them require you to really show a difference between songs so the crowd can abruptly go, oh, and then kind of ride you into the next one. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I think having the ideas to know when to do that is more than I would ask. And that's unfortunate. So basically I'm saying just sound like you kind of know what you're doing.
That's it.
All I can ask.
Yeah, that's low standards, man.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's kind of rough out there, man. Well, and that's when you have DJ ears, you know what I'm saying? And And I don't fault DJs for my ears because I'm not on point all the time.
Right.
And there's plenty of times where I'm going, I'm chilling today. I hope there's not a DJ out there eating. You know what I mean? Yeah, totally. So I get it.
Have you thought of like doing have you thought of doing, I know you got gigs out and stuff like that. Have you thought of like putting together mixtapes or any of that stuff? Where like
that shit is on the way.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Because I kind of want for my own, not even really to do anything monetarily or anything like that. I just kind of want to create with music. And like, if that's even just a mixtape, because I got one out there floating around in West Virginia somewhere. I didn't even know I was being recorded. And then someone said, yo, you heard your mixtape. No, I did not.
What?
Yeah. So I was sent my own mixtape that had been doing rounds. And I was like, hey, this wasn't bad. I remember it.
It was from when you played out there?
When I played down there. Yeah. But I didn't, at the time I wasn't playing like I'm about to be recorded. You know what I'm saying? But it still sounded good. So that felt good to me. But I would like to do that purposefully.
No, that'd be dope, man.
Yeah, absolutely. But just wanting to share the music because I'm trying to find audiences to come and hang and listen to all the music at the same time is really hard anymore. And then two, you want an audience that I want to dance, but then I also want them to listen to shit that you don't need to dance to, just kind of head nod.
Right.
That's also a hard part. You know what I'm saying? And so you got to have some kind of medium where you could just say, here, listen to this. And Twitch is kind of be the other one.
Yeah. Oh, word?
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah. So I got to figure that out.
No, dope. Yeah, I mean, I think that would be dope to hear like a stealth one mixtape of underground joints, yo. I think it'd be, because, like whenever I come over and stuff, like, play joints for each other or whatever, you're like, oh, check this. And it's like, some crazy shit. Even the German shit you throw in there, like what? Like, because that sounded like I knew what the fuck they was talking about. Like,
that's what I mean.
You know what I mean? So
that's what I mean. And I never left the hip hop DJ dude that I was. I still want that music. I just have an anxiety because no one else does.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
I can't play it like it's dance music to me. And Jason, our newest member,
right.
That's dance music to him, but it's not dance music to a lot of people.
No, it's not. I mean, but to me, it's as far as dancing goes, if you find that pocket, you can rock it. Like,
absolutely.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
we also feel something going slow, but it's hip hoppy more though. If I can feel it more, then the tempo almost doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I like popping, but I like popping to minimal techno. As long as you find the fucking, you know what I'm saying? You can get loose. So it's like, so I think that's important. Yo, so I've had a lot of conversations with like people that I really respect as far as like the elements of hip hop. I mean, Carrying the Culture is about the 4 elements of hip hop and their application through knowledge. And it's like, what do you consider to be the foundational element of hip hop? For typically, I mean, when I talk to b-boys, they're like, it's the b-boy. When I talk to DJs, and others, they're like, the DJ's the foundation. Without the music, there's no b-boys aren't doing it. That's where you are.
No, that's the answer. Yeah. And from being in New York a lot, I also have this perspective that is coming from people who were there. And when we're talking about what were people dancing to, in the park, you had whackers over here, you had breakers over here, you had people hustling over here, and it was the same disco track. You know what I mean? And so, and a lot of times when I heard disco as a break coming up, I didn't really realize that I was listening to disco.
Right.
But now I'm buying disco because when I hear it, I'm going, yo, this is a break to me. So, there was, the music, regardless of what kind it was long before. And I don't think without it and the DJs putting it out there for us to be able to appreciate, regardless of the motivation, that's the whole point. That's the whole point. I mean, you don't go to the park without any kind of music and then start rocking. I mean, and now even if you do it in your headphones, you can still have it.
Yeah.
Just go dance without music, please. Tell me you'll ever do.
Right. I mean, yeah. I mean, not for very long anyway. I mean,
Yeah, not for very long.
Not gonna have
yeah, I just don't. In my eyes, the point is the music.
Yeah, I mean that, and I've always thought that was the foundation of it all. Let me get your take on this. So I actually wrote an article about it because based on someone's. I'll send it to you. Someone's I forgot the brother's name. He's with the Bronx Boys, but anyway, he made he likes to Pluto 7, and so he was saying. He's an older cat, and he was saying, like, he made an interesting point, and I took it and ran with it. He said that b-boy culture is the foundation of hip hop culture, and I was like, huh. And I took that and I started thinking about it, and he was breaking it down, and I added some stuff to it, and it was like the slang, how we stand for pictures, how we words, people say whack. I mean, a lot of these words and right all come from the b-boy. And I was thinking like, man, there's a lot of people that have nothing to do with b-boying and breaking or anything, but are still using terms. I mean, crews, battling and stuff like that. Like no principles, fundamental principles, no biting and stuff like that. So it was just interesting when I really thought about it. I was like, man, a lot of this stuff though, again, how we even stand, lace our sneakers.
Yeah.
So like, what do you think about it? I mean, is that?
Well, no, I mean, from what I understand, that's true. But I'm not the hip hop historian when it comes to doing the actual history.
Yeah.
Not only because I'm sort of listening to what others are doing, which is why I'm saying that's what I understand.
Yeah.
But that's not my lane. But that is what I understand. But with that said, though, I mean, I don't know. Oh, what are we talking about?
B-boy breaking break b-boy being like a foundational.
With that said, it's sort of disappointing because we do take a lot of that, and you do see that in a lot of places. And I think a whole culture engulfed this idea, but then don't really know what it means to be that idea. And you can see that now when people were talking about the Olympics, who haven't done anything since they grew up doing those very things, standing like this. You know what I mean? Like, this seems like, okay, now I know. When to actually do that stuff, to get kicked out of buildings because you practice, to try and put shit together with your crew, to then go travel to a spot where you thought you had the hotel, y'all don't have any money. You know what I mean? It's like so much of the thing. So then you got to stay on somebody's couch with whom you don't know, so you get to the battle the next day. I mean, all of that goes into the grind that we just didn't do as kids. But yet, yeah, you're right. All that's permeating everything that we do, and so everyone thinks they know.
Yeah,
and it's so that's what the first thing that comes to mind when I think of that whole scenario. It's like, yeah, it does permeate the hip hop, and it is what we use. I mean, the whole nameplate, when the whole stands out. You know what I mean? Showing your jacket, the whole idea of the patch. You know what I mean? And that's from rocking.
right.
And that's from, and so, yeah, but a lot of people use it and we don't actually know what it means, but then we pretend like we do.
Oh yeah, I mean, particularly like stuff gets watered down. I mean, you ask the average person, first of all, about hip hop, they're going to talk to you about the music.
Yeah, absolutely.
First thing.
Yeah.
And so they're not even thinking about the where the slang they're using even came from. So I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to ask you about the Olympics though. So what was your take on? Because I don't think we ever talked about. I was adamant. I mean, I was strongly against breaking being in the Olympics. I thought, for me personally, with your thoughts on it. For me, I thought it was kind of turning to, because to me, breaking isn't a sport. So to me, I thought it, even though it's athletic, it's not a sport to me. So I thought it took something that was a cultural art form and tried to turn it into, what was the required shit you do in gymnastics and stuff like that. So that was me. But I watched some of it, but I was mixed on it. So I'm definitely curious what you had to say about it.
I was 100% anti.
Oh, you were?
From the jump, though. And I was around the people who were talking about it because I think Dizzy was one of the people who started to talk about the rules. Storm was one who started to talk about the rules. Taekwon, who's there, is an ex-crewmate of mine. You know what I mean? So it was in the air at the time. But I didn't like it because of the reason that you said. Because I didn't really like, when we were in Germany and we were in the back of Storm's vehicle, he was driving us from practice. And we were talking about the movie Breaking. But then we started talking about judging, and he was looking up at us. And he was so enraged by the idea of judging and how it ruined Breaking, only because someone had to win. And the reason why you had to win because there was a prize to win. The way it used to be, it was just like no one knew who won, but everyone talked about it. You know what I mean? Like, they smoked it. So there was hood glory, but there wasn't a concrete prize. So competitions, hate them or love them, have been around forever. And the Olympics was just another competition. But the reason why I didn't want it to be in the Olympics was for the reason that we were talking about prior to this, which so many people think they know what it is, and they have no idea. And so living in the shadows was the best place for it to be. As soon as we open the door and shine the light on it, people are going to start talking the most ignorant shit about it, which is absolutely what happened. What do we know about the Olympics from the non-breaker perspective? Ray gun.
That's it.
All we know.
That's it.
And from any breaker perspective, we would have been, yeah, she was weak. Moving on. Yo, do you remember who won? Do you know what I mean? We're talking about her because they tried to make it, and there are people that know, that claim to know. You know what I mean? And one dear friend who's very, very hip hop posted, this is what I thought I was getting, and it was a person who did an entire power run, which wouldn't have fared well in the Olympics either. You know what I mean? For good reason. And then he showed Reagan, who might have actually she wasn't terrible as people were saying she was. And this guy crashed his power run. So it might have been a him. You know what I mean? Had no idea what he was showing. But that's what came out at the time. As people were talking about, oh man, it's the thing that we used to do as kids in the Olympics. No, it's not. Because what we used to do as kids, we didn't know what we were doing. We had no idea how to actually practice that shit over and over and get it and stack it and go. And now if you do a windmill or your head spin and pull up and do a 90, you get no props. You know what I mean? So, none.
Yeah.
So it's just a whole different world, and they don't know, but we let them in, and then they started critiquing the furniture.
Shit is crazy.
And that's why I didn't want it in there. I literally didn't want it in there because I don't want it to be exposed to the masses.
No, not especially not now, right? I mean, because everything it's different now. I mean, I always say like back in my day, like in the 80s, like or whatever, like the commercial shit was the dope shit.
Yeah,
like
absolutely,
right. Like it was the fire shit. Like you could music or whatever. You turn on Rap City, you turn on Arsenio Hall. Like they got Tribe Called Quest on the motherfucking show. Yeah. So it's not like that. So let me ask you a question about competition. So I come as far as dancing goes and stuff like that. Like I've been in one competition, and it was in 2015 when a friend asked me to. I've always been anti-competition, or anti-organized battle judges because I came up in the clubs.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, I was battling motherfuckers over girls and insults and shit or whatever it was, right? Whether it was, hip hop or house or whatever. So like in terms of like when breaking started, when those competitions became really prevalent, do you think that really changed the culture negatively or no? That's me speaking as someone who doesn't actively break anymore or anything like that, but still connect.
No, I hear what you're saying, and I would use if you watched any of the Olympics, which I wasn't going to.
I did.
But Kid David and Ronnie were when Kid David was talking about the event, he was saying something very specific. He was saying competition break. To me, that is very different than regular breaking.
Clubs
and just grooving.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of gradient there. And I think they hit on it by saying that's what this is that we're watching. And so what I think happened, which when I was battling, I realized I didn't like, was one, you had to almost do choreography. So you had to have sets. You know what I mean? And not everybody has to have sets, but we did because you had to put moves together. And the moves mean you had to have sex. So I didn't want to have sex. So a lot of mine were, I'm going to do a lot of free shit, but then I'm going to do this idea. So the idea was the part that was choreographed, but most of the rest of it was free. Really hard to get through when you're trying to be free because of number two. I didn't like a lot of the music. And even if I did like it, I didn't like it the umpteenth time. You know what I'm saying? So I really ended up going up to the line and going, okay, I don't want to dance right now. You got to give me the song. And I wouldn't get a song. And so I would go out there going, I don't want to be doing this.
Wow. Yeah. No, I resonate with that because that's, you guys have seen me out, right? Like if I don't like the music, I'm in the fucking corner.
But that's what I'm saying. But as a cypher battle, I actually love. But the reason being is for two reasons there. One, if I'm already ciphering, I'm kind of already getting it in. And the cypher battles or cypher vibes are way hyper to me than battle vibes anyway. But then two, the way that you battle is so much different. So in an actual jam battle, you got to have this long statement. You know what I mean? You got to go from beginning to end and show you got this, and that. I can go out and style on you in 15 seconds in a cypher, and you have to beat that. I love that.
Yeah. You got to beat it with that too, you know what I mean? Like,
so there's just a different way of doing it. And to me, it's the more dancey, groovy, original, show your shit. You know, I'm the man kind of style, which means I can just basically sit here like this and burn you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just like, what do you got better than this?
Right.
Yeah, that's how you do that shit.
Right. Well, somebody will just roast you with some crazy top rock.
Yeah.
Call it a day.
Totally.
Right.
And you can't do that in a battle unless you're in a top rock.
Right. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? And then you might actually even get clowned if you come with some power.
Yeah.
If you're in the cypher where people would know, they'll be like, yo, what the fuck is you doing?
Well, it's just, I've been in both. You know what I mean? Where you're in the cypher where everyone's doing power and you don't. Like you feel out of place.
Right.
But I mean, at the same time, hey, if I need to do some power with some people, just recognize, you know, this is what we're doing.
Right. In your opinion, what's it like today? What's be breaking like today? I found out something very interesting. I was talking to my man, made from Profo One out of Bay Area Floor Gods. He was telling me, I had him on the show and he's had me on his show and he was doing some promo for his show. He's 49. And he was like, I was trying to do some promo for the show and stuff like that. And he kind of mentors a lot of young breakers. And so he said a lot of these young kids just break. They don't fuck with hip hop.
Yeah.
He's like, they just break. And I was like, in my head, I was like, what? I felt like I literally did like right angle, like, what you mean? Like, but that's.
So, and this is the realest right here. So we just got 60 minutes, you know what I mean? We put them down, but what that basically was about was, okay, we were those breakers that were just trying to get moves to get the competition, because that's how you get good at the art form. So that doesn't mean that you have to be non-musical, because we had a guy that always running new mixtapes for us because we loved music. I think that's why when I go to the battles and it'd be the same song over and over again, I'm going, I don't want to hear that because there's my palette is expanding.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, plus I don't know. I didn't really buy into always needing to go crazy over It's Just Begun. You know, I love the song, but I don't always need to go nuts. I have my own joints where I go nuts because I can't help myself. So, you know what I mean? It's just this kind of that thing. We don't, B-Boy and Today. Yeah. So culturally speaking, they don't have to be complete music nerds. You know what I'm saying? But it would be great if they understood what it meant to be around people who are in dance, because that to me is sort of a culture that I want to be around.
Right.
So that's why you fit perfectly. It was like, yo, if this is my shit, you're going nuts. Because that feeling, I got that feeling. I hear songs, I'm going, man, I can't even be around you.
Yeah.
You know, but like, you know, I think we have a few members where I'm going, what's y'all's song? You know what I mean? And not even that, it's just what kind of thing moves you.
Right.
And right now, I don't think they have that. I think they're just trying to fucking break it.
Yeah.
And that's, that's okay because you have to for a second. But that's the kind of groove that I like. That's why we have, the Tinas and the Chucks and the Cubas, the Smiles. We all got our shit. As a DJ, it was great DJing for people because I could know, I'm about to play the shit. You about to go crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I think what's hard for me is seeing, like, because for me, it's bigger than a dance. To me, b-boying is a way of life. B-boy, not just breaking, it's a way of life. Like,
sure.
So, like, to me, there's foundational principles and things behind it, like what you do and stuff, and how you carry yourself. So, and the history to it. So it's sad to me a little bit when I was like, oh man, I'm not even really into hip hop or whatever, just because this culture is so rich, right? And there's so much. Remember we had a member come, who came, or his student, he was practicing with us a few years ago, from Honduras, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And
Straight leg Jose.
Yeah, and this kid would propel around the room and fly around the room.
Yeah.
But we were trying to get him to connect with his heart, right? Like, yo, like, son, like we're dancing, like, feel, not every song requires you to.
Well, yeah, but that, you know what I'm saying? But that's the twofold there. We got to understand that, that's what they want to do. And, that's part of the game.
Right.
So if that's what our guy wanted to do and he was real good at it, then we would want him. But then two, I mean, maybe he's not the guy, but we got Will. And Will was so wanting to connect. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, yeah, maybe not one, maybe not this one.
Yeah, right.
Maybe not now with this one.
Right.
But yeah, I'm trying. That connection is something I like being around.
Right.
And I would like, we all had. So I had to sort of give up a little bit with people not being there yet.
Right.
Knowing that, man, but that's where we all needed to be. So they're they're doing what we were supposed to do.
Right. No, that's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, yo. We got 10 minutes left already, because before Instagram shuts us down, we were gonna have you spin a little bit, but there's something I really need to cover before we get out of here.
Yeah.
So it's the music.
Yeah.
So I've said this multiple times. I mean, people get on me like, "Oh, tomorrow you're critical," and I'm like, I got friends that will, make me seem easy. So, what is your, is there a go-to sound for you? And this is just music here, in terms of the hip hop music. Is it that? I mean, you rock the '90s boom bap, but I hear some, like eclectic stuff. You rock German stuff. Like,
yeah.
Is there a go-to sound for you?
Well, so let's put it this way: there are a lot of tracks that I probably wouldn't play, but I can't knock them. You know what I mean?
Give me some. Now I need to know.
No. And the thing is, I don't know.
Oh, really? Okay.
But there'll be something I've heard the gym.
Okay.
Let's put it this way. So when I was at the Smiles, when I was at the strip club with Smiles for his what do you call it? Bachelor party. I hate being a strip. So I was just sitting there and I was just listening to the music, which was not good.
Right.
But it was all stripper music, right? But I was listening to some of the lyrics and I'm going, yeah, I wouldn't bang this, but be honest, this ain't bad.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I can't knock what you're saying. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think I sort of get the wrong, sort of maybe send out the wrong signal when I say what I want. And what I like is, even though I like some hardcore, like I like Bone, you know what I mean? But then I also like Tribe. But then we all had these things at the same time, so it was a good feeling of choice.
Right.
I've been leaning more toward even new sound that sounds like boom bap shit.
Of course.
Boom bap is just like, I just kind of like the feeling. If you put a nice little hum chord underneath, bring me home, you know what I mean? You can carry me into a rhythm with some smooth rhymes and just a nice little hook.
Right.
And so for example, there's one of those albums down there, but some kind of Elmatic. The whole album is just like that. And I love it. And it's smooth chords, and then so if you give me some horns, like I need to feel sometimes that it's not mechanical music. And if there are lyrics to be heard, I need to understand whether the lyrics are supposed to be heard or supposed to be true. You know what I'm saying? And I think the reason why people assume that I'm being harsh about something is because they're going by what they feel. And I think the song wants you to listen to it and it sounds terrible. You know what I mean? So many people they might say what they're saying, but they're going, yeah, but it's just the feel. And I'm going, but the whole album is laced with these kind of lyrical feelings. So they're not saying anything, but yet this is your favorite rapper.
So let's go lyrics, man. Like what brings it out for you? I've sent you I've played a couple joints one time. You actually one time you were like, you like this? I was like, all right. I was like, bump the brakes. So like, and we even talked one time. I put on something for you. It was MOP, and you were like, I don't really fuck with MOP. And my head almost popped off. But you made a great point that I'll never forget. Ever. You said, I fuck with the music, but you were like, a lot of their joints sound like anthem music a lot. Yeah. And so for you, so like, what do you look for lyrically? Cause like I said, man, I was sending you joints for me and I'm like scared, man. I'm like, I ain't sending them shit.
No, look. So here's the thing. I think, I really like, how to put it, man. Oh man. It's almost like with Larry Flint porn, you know what I mean? I almost can't tell you what it is until I hear it. But I can almost tell you what it isn't.
Right.
Which is, that doesn't really help it. So for example, let's say some of the things that you were saying. So what was the dude's name that was, Snaggerpuss dude?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is it about, if I can just go through you, what is it about that joint that makes that shit extra fly?
I like MCs that have, for me, it's not about lyrical, miracle, spiritual rap over your head shit.
No,
so what I'm saying with Snaggerpuss, big up to him, I like joints. He was on some I like dudes that rap like they're on the conversational shit.
Okay.
So, I mean, I like joints like that. Yeah, and that's what it felt like.
So that smooth kind of flow, I definitely do dig.
Like some witty, slick shit.
Right. But, and it doesn't, but I don't actually mind gritty lyrics either. They just sort of have to be infused in a track that make you work. You know what I mean? I just don't think, when I hear something, I think the right response has to happen in me. And so when it comes to being picky, it really is not me. I'm letting the body do the work. And if I hear the song and it's got that smooth thing and my neck starts to bop, it's like, okay, the feeling of the song is there. So if the lyrics are there, you got it. But then there might be one where it's the hardcore and I'm going, okay, this is raw. Just what do you need me to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. And from song to song, lyric to lyric, I'm listening.
Totally different.
Yeah. And I think that's sort of the problem and the reason why I don't like a lot of music, because I'm listening to it actually. You know what I'm saying? And so I'll listen to anybody that comes out that's new. And I'm going, all right, I don't want to be the guy that just hates because it is. I can't tell you how much I tried to like Drake. Because I'm going, all right, let me check this one. Yeah, I don't really like that either. Let me check this. Yeah. I tried. And this isn't on some, old man.
I'll be on that shit though. Fuck Drake. So, I mean, but yeah, not here.
I'm saying for me.
Yeah, for you. I mean, you tried though. You genuinely, because you were listening to it.
Yeah.
With it. And you're one of the most balanced dudes I know in terms of just perspective. And so like, there's times where I actually sent you a text today and I was all fired up about some shit. And you were like, and your message was, I was pissed at you actually. Your response was,
I knew you would be.
I was like, fuck this dude. So, so your response, your response, but listen, it helped me though. Your response was, it was about somebody said something to me. The response was, it seemed cordial enough. And that took me down a couple of levels because I couldn't fucking deny that shit. But I was like, fuck, why the fuck did I text him? That's not, because you tend to reach out to people that you want people to agree with you. Yeah. And you don't do that. And I appreciate that. And so I'm saying you're balanced. So my whole point, all I'm saying is you listen to the music.
Yeah. And literally, there was no one truly, you sexy red. Yeah, literally, I gave it a shot.
And this shit, yo.
Yeah, I got quotes way back from when I tried to give like Lil Uzi Vert a chance. I'm a Leo like lion. Yeah, no, I couldn't do it. I tried. So this isn't me listening to my own shit and going, nah, y'all youngins can have y'all. No, because I actually listened
right.
to Triple X Extension posthumously, and went, okay, I mean, it's not my thing, but he's saying some shit.
Right.
He's got some lyrics. Truth. You know what I mean? I'm
Right.
trying not to front about the music. It's just there's a lot of garbage out there.
Right.
It's just what, yeah.
Back, y'all, wrapping it up with a man, DJ B-Boy Stuff One, Get Down Gang, holding it down, talking music. And I just want to finish this up. Like, do you rock with the grimy, like?
Man, when you showed me that Spit Gym shit,
Okay.
that was that's on my phone. And when I say on my phone, you know, I gotta put it on my phone.
That's effort. That's effort right there.
So you know what I mean. So yeah, no, that I love that shit. That's what I'm saying. So
It just got a hit.
yeah, it's got a, I don't know what it is, and I can't really call it. Sometimes I like some NEM shit, and that shit grimy as fuck.
Yeah. Well, that's dope though. I mean, I think
Yeah.
like it's to me, because I'm a heart dude. Like so, in a lot of ways. I mean, but at least when it comes to the arts and stuff. So like, either there's shit that I like. People are like, yo, you like that? Like I like, for instance, I love MC Breed, Future, ain't no future in the front.
Oh, dude, that's the joint.
It's the joint, but people think I'm like Mr. East Coast, right? Like, just locked in Tim boots, and I'm like, yo, I'm like that shit is hard, above the law. I fuck with. I mean,
cool, man. I just got Superman.
Yeah, okay.
Superman's the joint.
Yeah.
Man, yeah.
So you know.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I definitely get locked into just underground. And
That's what
Yeah, and I'm not hating it but there's a lot of shit that's underground too. It's just like anything.
Right.
So right now, the way I'm finding music is I'm not even really looking for artists. I'm going 45s and I'm just listening. I'm finding some ill people I've never heard.
Yeah.
But it might be your single because I might not like all the other joints. But hey, I got shit to play.
What's the Well, I would say this. Another question is there anything? Any place in hip hop's where you think all of like this actual location where you think all of the elements are like really thriving together, because they seem like they're operating in four individual silos, and it's been like that for a while in my opinion. Like because I remember growing up, everybody kind of had a hand style. Everybody tried to pop. You kind of figured it out,
What?
and then you just kind of you gravitated toward kind of what you were.
Well, if we're talking elements. You're talking elements mainly, sort of?
Elements,
okay, because,
specifically.
I mean, that just differs on how many different elements you want to include.
Well, I'm saying
just the main four. I would say places like Europe, like something like Switzerland, where it's kind of it's all around. I'm not sure about the MCs or whatnot, but
Actually, I know a dope MC from Switzerland, so yeah.
Germany is a bit like that, but it's still also separate. You know what I mean? Because their rap scene is you can be pretty big there. So
Right.
But yeah. I mean, I still think it's still at those underground spots, sort of like the Birdies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We had PB&J crew was there, and then us breakers were there, and the MCs and the D. I mean, that was the most hip hop spot ever. And LP was snagging MCs from there. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, I saw Mr. Lift twice.
Oh shit!
You know what I mean? Yeah, it was a spot, man, and that became my kind of jam.
Yo, I should have asked this earlier, but so I'm so curious because it's going back to like your lyrical taste. Like, I'm not asking for top 5, but I'm just saying like your go-to MCs where you're like. You got like if you got 5, if you got like 5 records to play, I'm like, okay, I need some, just a fire, like just some of your go-to cats.
I mean, that's a toughie because even though, okay, and I'm just gonna talk it out. You know what I'm saying? Like even though Rakim's probably my favorite MC, I probably wouldn't play a Rakim album at the time, only because they're dense with just rap lyrics. You know what I mean? So I think he's lyrically awesome, but I don't like a lot of the songs as much as I might another song. For example, Black Star would be that one album that I would put on. So that would be most and Talib, but doesn't mean that they're my favorite either. But together, that album in general, I was a huge fan of most. Actually, was a huge fan of Fell In for a second. But so maybe that album, or I would put on maybe Enter the Colossus with which is Mr. Lift's first EP. Just because that one felt like underground lyrical whatever, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so I could just roll with that one. Maybe Aesop's Labor Days. Throw that joint on and just get entrenched in lyrical greatness. Yeah. So but these aren't necessarily my top guys or gals. Speaking of which, like Collage, we'll throw that on.
Bahamadia.
I was a huge fan of Light Bahamadia. Huge fan. Eyes on This, one of my favorite albums ever.
Really?
Yeah, oh my God, I could talk that whole album through. Me and Leslie Ezra from here was supposed to do a whole thing downstairs where you would just talk about tracks that you got into as a child.
Oh, wow.
And we went through a few. We went over which one did we do there? I think one of the ones from Eyes on This, and yeah, I mean that's my jam. I throw that on just because I love that shit.
Dope.
Yeah. I mean, that's some. There's some newer ones, but I mean, just for tops coming to mind, my favorite album ever was Arsonist, As the World Burns.
Okay.
Yeah. It just had everything. It almost felt like it had graffiti in the album.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Legs was on the album.
Yeah,
so it was cutting all over the place. I mean, it was the most hip-hop album.
Yeah, I mean, they covered it all.
Yeah, it was great. It was great, and I love it. Absolutely.
We had Jice One on the show a couple years ago, right?
Yeah.
And so he was telling me that they would. You may not know this or not, but he was telling me that they used to the way they would train, lyrically train, it was like the X-Men Danger Room. They would just get in a room and just battle each other, like to just get nice and just, you know what I mean? Like there's like like at the Professor X's mansion, they're all training with all this shit.
Yeah.
So it was just like
damn.
He said they would just get in a room and just go at it like I mean like they were enemies.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean?
I
Like
get you. Yeah, just trying to get
trying to get nice. So yeah, that's a classic project. Classic
man.
project.
Oof.
Classic project. So
Yep.
well, for real quick before we get out of here, like what's the big thing? I mean, you're an older fellow. We're all older, but you live this shit. So I mean, but what's on the horizon for you? What do you? I guess you said maybe mixtapes coming there. What are you trying to do in this shit? You're traveling all over and stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying. I mean, freedom is the main goal. But with that, I'm trying to have fun and make sure I don't waste the time that I am using. So the Afraid shit is still allowing me to travel. It's still allowing us to share space in New York City. So that I'm glad I'm doing that. It's taking a lot of places. I'm learning a lot about music and dance. You know what I mean? A lot. So I'm very grateful for picking that up. And I'm DJing a lot, which means I'm buying a lot of music, which means I'm hearing a lot of music, which means it's causing frustration because there's not enough people to play this music. So those tapes or the Twitch will be coming.
Gotta do them shits, man.
Because I just want to share this shit because I'm not hearing it anywhere.
Yeah, can't you just press record and just?
I have.
I mean, I know you're probably a little more gonna be more.
It's actually not so much. I have the device to plug in and do it. It's just I have to also do it. Yeah. Which that's the problem right now. If I'm gonna play a set, it's out because the other weekend I played so much I was tired of playing.
Yeah.
So, and I just want to have some time to actually really love listening to music again. And I haven't had it, so I really want to put the record on and go, yeah, that's nasty. So I can remember a little nuance where to drop it. Right now I'm having trouble listening to the end of records, so the end is actually coming quicker than I expect.
Oh, wow.
So then I'll find a record that I don't necessarily want to play because it's coming.
Right.
Yeah, I haven't listened to them enough.
Damn. Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, we need that mixtape, man. We need that mixtape. We need that Twitch.
Yeah.
I think it's good. And because in my opinion, it's like I always tell people like if you have something to share and you don't share it, and I think and then you're doing a disservice to the people. So I mean, I say that as a friend. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like
That's what I want to do with it.
I mean, like I I wouldn't tell you I want to hear you if I didn't want to hear you. So like,
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
And,
But
you know,
yeah.
I wouldn't want to buy it just for me to hear it by myself.
Right,
I'm
right,
trying
right.
to share that shit with people.
Yeah, yeah, because you know it's something that comes with like for instance, when my man put me on, I wasn't getting vinyl. And my man put me on to the Domino remix of "You Never Knew."
Oh yeah.
And
Oh, word.
you have you heard it?
No, I have
What?
not.
We'll play it.
Oh.
Yo, it's on the beast.
Whoa.
Okay, I'll play it for you before we go. So I lost my shit, and so but it's like finding out about it years later.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
whoa!
But that's what I'm saying. So there's some good gems on vinyl, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
there's
yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of things you can get digitally, and I get it.
Yeah, yeah.
There's some shit you can't get vinyl, and then when you get them on vinyl, you can't even Shazam them shit.
Right.
So I'm good with it. It's
Right.
fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
It can be fun.
Word.
Yeah.
Listen, man, this has been fun. I got to know you a little better. Know like what the fuck is good. I appreciate you.
Yes.
And this has been good. We're gonna get this up on the YouTube channel, everybody. This has been an episode of Buck 57, the Carry the Culture Show. Our man DJ B-Boy Stealth One, Get Down Gang. We're gonna get this up, and thanks, brother. We're gonna be looking out for that Twitch tape. Twitch tape.
That Twitch tape.
In that mixtape. Oh, we'll edit this up.
Yeah,
Soon though. So
Yeah,
appreciate
man.
you.
Word.
All right, y'all. Peace. Everybody be good.